Alright, so the ugly jade is here. Okay, welcome again to another example of me not knowing how to read or talk, enunciate. Um, so, I like my shirt. It's from Manslayer. Ever seen it? Manslayer. Look up Manslayer on YouTube. You should do that. Not right now. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna take me a minute to open up this data pad. Um. Okay. I wonder if I do it like this, does it work? Yeah. Maybe you can see. I don't know. I don't know if it went upside down for you or not. There's a button on this. It's not my data pad though. It's actually oh nice. Stand by. That is the file. Kindle. Okay. Cool. All right. So we last stopped at chapter 7. All right. Are you familiar? Have you been following along this story? All right. If not, it's a cheesy story written recently. I need some chapstick. Hold on. Wow. I keep forgetting that I'm covering up the camera. Yeah, I'm not gonna lose everything in my pockets. Okay. Okay, so I've got music playing on the background. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if YouTube is gonna have a problem with it. It is Poppy. I don't know if you know who Poppy is, but I love Poppy. Anyway, all right, let us begin. So, chapter 7, Stone. I'm trying to get a grip on my anger because it's either righteous as fuck or the alcohol in my blood is keeping me on the straight and narrow of rage streets. The squeaky small voice of my logical mind reminds me that I wronged McNasty, that my actions were inappropriate, that I really did deserve this shit assignment, and I was lucky to have not been dishonorably discharged on the spot. You could have made things worse for me. How often do I drink? Oh, not often. Not often. I can't because I work pretty much every day. And if I do drink, maybe I can't really do more than one drink a night. I'm not trying to screw myself up at work. Anyway. Okay. But punishing the rest of Space Force for my transgressions? Is that what he's doing? Squeak, squeak. Damn it. Even Jones said they were all here for a reason. Aside from Haley, every last member of Space Force is a screw-up in some form or fashion. But we're still here, while everyone else was shipped off or discharged in the past few years, either means we're the best the USSF has to offer, or the worst. But that doesn't justify treating Haley poorly. She's done nothing but serve with distinction right up until the end. Whatever might have been transmitted out to the world was after she had been kicked in the imaginary nuts. You're just upset because the man gives you blue balls. Squeak. Okay, that's at least partially true. But despite never taking Space Force seriously, I've grown to like these people. They're my friends. And when someone disrespects my friends, even if they're deserving, I rise to their defense. Serve with distinction sounds like propaganda. Have you been following this book? Anyway, it's not meant to be taken seriously in any capacity at all. Anyway, although I mean they are in the military, it is Space Force, so all right. By the time I reach the fishbowl, the rest of the team has noticed the commotion outside. They're gathered by the windows, looking out the parking lot. "The hell is going on?" Taylor asks when I enter the room. "Where's Haley?" Hacking, I guess, I say, heading for the computer station. Failed to seal the deal? Quaid asks. We were interrupted, I grumble. Ah, dang. Quaid punches his open palm. Oh shit. Who cockblocked you? McNasty. General McNally is here? Oh, you're just reading a book, live. I tried calling your work of the... Oh, yeah. That's great. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna ignore that. Anyway, so General McNally is here? Jane asks, standing from the couch and straightening her clothing. Now? Why would he be here now? Billy asks, wringing his hands together. While some members of the USSF respect McNasty's authority, no one likes him. He was involved in most of our cases to one degree or another. I wonder how Colonel Jones crossed him, and then I decided it doesn't matter. We're being evicted, I say. Better pack your shit. We have 30 minutes to get the fuck out. It actually says GTFO. I decided to explain what that means, just in case, just because it's fun. Anyway, Billy's eyes widen. Gertie. Oh no, Gertie. I don't know what that means. He scrambles from the couch and makes a beeline from the door, slamming into it, tumbling to the floor, and rolling back to his feet with all the grace of a limbless ferret. The room is locked in time for a moment. I raise a hand, about to question who Gertie is, when Taylor says, no idea. Quaid shrugs. Hell if I know. I'm sorry, Ching says, hurrying toward the door, growing more sober with each step. I'm going to gather my things. What are you doing? Taylor asks when I resume my course for the computer station. I pick up the headset and turn the monitor toward him and Quaid. When Taylor sees my head still dead on screen body, he understands. He says nothing, but points toward the headset, shaking his head. The man has read my mind, but there's nothing he can do to change it. Hoss, Quaid warns. It's the first time I've seen genuine concern in his eyes. He pantomimes, taking a drink and stumbling around, trying to tell me that I'm drunk. I shake my head, despite knowing he's probably right. I look at the stream counter. Holy shit. 3.2 million people watching. Taylor starts checking on nothing. This is Captain Ethan Stone, aka Stone Castle, coming to you live from Space Force Command. In the following days, it's likely that Congress and the President are going to try painting everyone involved with the program as colossal fuck-ups. And I know, talking to you now via a video game live stream is probably not the best venue. What are you saying? Oh, you're just reading. What the fuck? Yes, Lobster, what the fuck? I'm reading Space Force book. Are you enjoying it? Great. Anyway, probably not the best venue. I probably said some embarrassing things earlier, but this might be my one and only chance to set the record straight. I take a deep breath. Before being assigned to Space Force, I was a Navy SEAL. Best of the best. Good people are alive because I killed bad people. I was sent to Space Force to be the butt of a joke the previous administration wanted to tell. We've been mocked and humiliated by comedians, pundits, and our nation's leaders. I should be ashamed of my time here, training to fight a war that will never happen. Instead, I'm proud of what we have accomplished. If there was ever a war in space, we'd fucking crush it. The only real thing wrong with Space Force is that the people in charge are colossal dickholes. And well, there's no one to fight. So instead of taking one up the ass for the world's amusement, I say, don't do it. Squeak. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, even though we weren't needed. If you want to have at us for blowing off a little steam tonight, go right ahead. We are tougher than anything the universe can throw at us. That includes you, Anderson Cooper, with your angelic white hair and your take me now eyes. Oh, that's cute. I actually did used to have a crush on Anderson Cooper before he became such a sycophant. But that was back when he was doing World News Now at like 3 a.m. and I was underage. Anyway, I was sent here for a single mistake, made 3 times. Once on camera, to be mentally and emotionally castrated by an asshole with 4 stars on his shoulders. I should be angry at him. And when I started this rant, I was. But now, General McNasty, thank you for sending me here. Without you, I would have never met the people I now consider family. Taylor and Quaid are on board now, nodding their approval. I glance at the stream counter and note that we're approaching 4 million. I swallow and continue. Or the woman I... The power goes out. Quasimodo's soiled taints, I say in the darkness that follows. What the hell? Emergency lighting snaps on. McNasty's voice booms from the intercom. You have 20 minutes to pack your belongings and vacate the premises, or don't. Watching you all be dragged out would be amusing. Ain't nothing to be done about it, Quaid says, putting his hand on my arm. Better to do what the man says than cause a ruckus. After a speech like that, last thing you want is to be thrown out like a dog. Keep your head up and hang on to what pride you've got left. My wang jangled nerves calm, my wang jangled nerves calm a bit. That might be the wisest thing you've ever said. Probably the last time too, so you might take what you can get. Taylor towers over us. You lead, I'll follow. Ha ha ha. That's funny. That's a reference. Well, I'm pretty sure, since this thing is full of references, that the "you lead, I'll follow" is a reference to your companion in Skyrim. Crack House Librarian, what kind of... You have the name librarian in your name and you're saying stop reading. What the hell? That makes no sense. Are you a librarian or aren't you? Are you a reader or aren't you? There's nothing wrong with reading. Okay, anyway, I'm going to ignore that because it's irrelevant. Alright, so we've both been accepted to the same private contractor company. I'm not sure if my little rant has put that in jeopardy, but he's willing to tell me if it did. I'll stand by my side. He'll stand by my side. I wipe a faux tear from my eye. Don't you dare, oh captain, my captain. Don't you dare, oh captain, my captain, me. Seriously, he says, offering his hand, arm fixed in a tribute to one of our all-time favorite movies. I take his hand like we're about to arm wrestle and quote, Dylan, you son of a bitch. We have a good chuckle, and then the reality of our situation sets in. The clock is ticking. Time to pack. We leave the fishbowl for the last time. I take a glance back and remember all the good times we had here, especially as the base's personnel has whittled down to the point where we had to make our own meals in the mess and empty the trash ourselves. It was kind of a summer camp experience, but with guns and training simulators, and our very own satellite, dubbed Peepin' Tom, after Billy showed us what it could do. 19 minutes later, I'm standing in the parking lot, watching a frenzy of worker ants loading our gear and tech into a smaller fleet of 18-wheeler trucks. The men are tired and humorless until they see me. Then I'm greeted universally by snickers. I don't know if it's simply because we're Space Force or they heard my dramatic diatribe, but it's starting to get on my nerves. I have half a mind to show these muffin-topped movers how much ass Space Force can kick, but I decide to let my cut short words be my final goodbye. Stand stoic by the yellow humiliation bus, waiting for the doors to open and my team to arrive. I lost my place. Taylor arrives first, standing beside me without a word. Then Ching and Quaid falling in line and observing our silent vigil without being instructed to. When the bus open, I allow the doors to enter first. The doors? Allow the others to enter first. Ching sits in the front and Quaid joins her. no doubt to make one last attempt at pouring on his southern lack of charm. She sighs but says nothing. I continue to the back of the bus with Taylor. We take seats from me across each other. You know you don't need to sit in the back here anymore, right? He smiles. I like to say we when we go over the bumps. Okay, I can't quite do that one, but anyway. I'm just gonna change arms because I'm getting tired. But I'm gonna do this. Okay, that works. I know y'all don't like me reading. No one likes me to read. It's okay. This is more for me than you. Just give me feedback, people, please. All right. I mean, seriously, how bad am I reading? Probably very. Tell me, open your mouth more, and I'll do that. Something like that, right? All right. So, I still lost my place. Something. I remember the word we. Stand by. Alright, so Billy enters next, followed by a woman. I stand, expecting it to be Haley, but the hair is wrong. Instead of straight and black, it's straight and blonde, which means it's not Jones either. Billy sits near the middle of the bus, managing to avoid making eye contact with anyone, despite all eyes being on him and on his lady friend, who is a knockout. In some ways, she looks like a supermodel, but the image is thrown off by the gray Space Force flight suit she's wearing. When she sits down beside him, Taylor and I look at each other, dumbfounded. Has Billy had a mistress hidden on base this whole time? Did he hire a stripper for our final night and then forget about her? Is that Gertie? Taylor asks. I'm about to shrug when Haley steps on board. She makes eye contact with me, doesn't smile, and sits across from Quaid and Ching. Way too much like summer camp, I think. Every year of that humid, puberty-ridden drama fest ended. Oh, there's a viewer. Hi, viewer. You're gonna be bored as hell. I'm just reading. I'm just doing this for practice, and I would like some feedback to know how bad I enunciate. Anyway, so puberty-ridden drama fest ended with my heart being broken by a girl who suddenly couldn't stand the sight of me. Not this time, I think, and I stand ready to pour my heart out. McNasty cockblocks me again, stepping into the bus with a broad smile. Enjoy civilian life, he says, and then to the driver, a sleepy-eyed black woman who looks like she was dragged from bed for this. He says, drop them off at the far side of the bridge. With that, he leaves and watches. Oh, it's almost working 10-minute read faster. Oh, thank you. Oh. Alright, so they're supposed to be dropped to the far side of the bridge. With that, he leaves and watches the bus pull away. We sit in silence as the bus rounds the parking lot. I can sense the stares of the men outside, but I don't bother looking. No reason to heap hot coals on my own head. Halfway across the bridge, our driver perks up. Don't worry, y'all. I don't work for that asshat. I'll take you where you want to go. I'm about to thank her when a shrill screech fills the air, knocking me to the floor in pain, clutching my ears. I don't hear the bus tires lock, but I feel it when I'm sprawled forward. When we crash into the bridge's side wall, I'm tossed down the aisle, stopping into the center of the bus. When the shriek stops, I push myself up, groggy and disoriented. What was that? Look, Billy says, pointing out the window. A line of orange energy descends from the sky. It's a translucent wall, plunging toward the ocean. I follow its track around and realize it's surrounding all of Portsmouth Island. Billy cranes his head up. It's coming down on us. When the top of the bus sparks and it is carved in half, I scream more in regret than fear and close my eyes. My holler is cut short when a strong hand grasps the back of my shirt and yanks me back. The orange energy slices through the bus and then the bridge below. Everything jolts downward as concrete and steel are severed like they're made from jello, but the modern construction holds. Through a wall of translucent orange, I see Haley stand and face me, all of her disappointment replaced by concern. Instead of any number of expletives, all I can think of is, she still cares about me. But when I smile, she frowns and points behind me. The mystery wall has come down around the island, separating us from from the rest of the world. I look out of the window and up, and it stretches up into the night sky farther than I can see. Before I can react, my cell phone comes to life. As I pull the device from my pocket, I see everyone else aboard the bus do the same. Well, I say, this can't be good. All right, that was the end of chapter 7. Y'all ready for chapter 8? Okay, cool. All one of you? Yeah. Chapter 8, Haley. The wall of orange energy cracking the bus into like a bright yellow, well cooked crustacean in the hands of an aging and famished Martha's Vineyard yuppie also cleaves away my anger toward the politicians who send us packing, toward the people who have mocked us and will continue to do so, and toward Stone, who thought he could make up for embarrassing me before the world by embarrassing me for a second time. What the hell was he thinking? That he accomplished with that speech. What was he about to say when the power went out? I look at him through a shimmering wall of energy. He's looking back, but the connection I feel with him is missing. Not because our fledgling relationship is irreparably broken, but because his features are distorted. When my phone comes to life in my pocket, I wonder if it might be my parents. With the press on the far side of the bridge, this is likely going out live, and if the world knew we were on this bus, they're probably wondering if we're alive. I pull the phone out and look at the screen. Well, this can't be good, Stone says, but his voice is muffled like he's talking through a thick window. I glance up and notice that he's looking at his phone too, as is every other passenger, save for Billy's strange companion, who's even less recognizable on the far side of the energy wall. I don't know who she is or how Billy snuck her onto the base, but she did save Stone from being carved in half. I'm grateful for her impressive show of strength. Saving Stone's life means I get to kick his ass when this wall comes down. I return my attention to my phone screen, where a white symbol slowly rotates over the black screen. It's like a backward P, but with two bumps instead of one. Like if a P and a B had a love child. My first thought is that I'm looking at an alien language. I mean, that's the only thing this can be, right? Russia can't shoot force fields from space. China sure shit can't. Hell, maybe it's Canada. They haven't exactly been happy with us since the trade wars. It might have a motive, but not the capability. Space Force had access to some of the most advanced tech in the world, and the orange wall descending from orbit is beyond the capabilities of any nation on Earth. As the symbol rotates clockwise, my brow furrows. Is that a... Our driver asks, wide eyes staring at her phone. Lord have mercy, it is. If not for the force field separating us from our friends, I might have laughed. Our first contact with a superior intelligence is being misinterpreted as an interstellar dick pic. I'm sure it means something in their language, hopefully a message of peace, but it seems unlikely. It's like if it's like Japanese kanji, characters with meaning beyond consonants and vowels, the meaning could be nuanced and intricate. It could take months to decipher the true meaning. The spinning phallus fades to black. 8-bit text rolls across the screen. Human race, we are XXXINQUIXXX. Ho ho ho. If you followed the last if you followed the last video, then you know something about this. Through the force field, I see Taylor and Stone look at each other like they know something I don't. All your base R belong to us. What the hell? I say. Are they trying to communicate with memes? Ching asks. I hold the phone up. This is a meme? In 1989, Quaid says, based on the English translations in Zero Wing, that's a video game. It was pretty awesome. You should look it up. Yeah, that's at the top of my to-do list, right after survive the apocalypse and rebuild my life. My eyes linger on the force field following the broad air arc as it wraps around the Space Force. It's might be a meme, but they also mean it. I point across the hazy orange bridge. Our base does belong to them. All our base, Taylor says. I can barely hear him, but the field's distortion only adds to the grim sounds of his voice. You don't think they've captured every military installation in the world? Billy asks. Make your time. We are coming. We have to assume so, Stone says. And we need to get ahead of this before... Get ahead of it? I say. We don't even know what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. He points toward the ceiling. It's coming from up there. We got shit on the roof? The frantic bus driver asks, sinking down, large eyes staring upward. In space, Stone says, and that's our domain. This is our fight. And that's what we've been training for. It's not much of a speech, and no one is very moved by it. I'm as surprised as anyone else, but space is a war-fighting domain, he says. Billy raises his hand, objecting. We're no longer enlisted and commissioned members of horse and shit, Stone says. McNasty might have evicted us, but I'd bet my life, hell, I'd bet both my nugs that the paperwork hasn't gone through yet, and probably won't as long as this is happening. If that's true, he looks me in the eyes, if our country, if our world is in danger from space, it is our duty to fight for it. The bridge lurches down a foot, nearly knocking me into the force field. There's a moment of silence while everyone clutches seat backs. Nope, the bus driver says. I'm out. Y'all have fun saving the world, or saving the universe. She opens the side door, hobbles down the steps, and does a funny kind of penguin speed walk, following the bridge towards the mainland. In the distance, I can see the lights of countless media cameras pointed in our direction, but I doubt they're pointed at us anymore. Oh, I lost my viewer. Oh well. The bus shudders again, sliding downwards. Orange sparks topple from the roof as it tilts into and is eaten by the force field. The severed vehicle stops at an angle. The middle end lying on the pavement, molten metal oozes from the edge, sizzling against the force field, kicking up a noxious smoke. We can't stay here much longer, and we definitely can't touch the field. Something new is coming, Quaid says, phone in hand. Rules of engagement. Battle to the death. No holds barred. Last man standing wins. Wins? I ask. Wins what? The moment I speak the question, I realize the answer. Billy's mystery friend states the obvious for me. Earth. To make this even more bluntly clear and melodramatic, an image of Earth from space fills the screen, but it's not just the blue planet we're used to seeing. There are hundreds of orange spines jutting up into orbit, ending at large black circles, big enough to see despite this small image. And the image is a real-time view of the planet from space, and each one of those lines represents a spacecraft. But only one of them matters now, the one above us. Winner takes all. These are gaming rules, Stone holds up his phone. For Battle Royale. He eyes the force field, following its path around the base. They've turned Portsmouth Island into a death zone. I think it's safe to say they've done the same to the other military bases around the world, Taylor says. Does that mean we're all playing? How does that work? Do all Earth forces have to... The phone updates. Who will fight? A long list of military forces from around the world appears in abbreviated form. It's a long, scrollable column with more acronyms than I can decipher. I stop scrolling and start recognizing United States forces. USAF, USMC, USN, USSF, and USSS. Look, Quid says. There we are. He taps his finger on the screen, and the USSF is highlighted on all our phones. The rest of the abbreviation fade away, and the USSF logo fills the screen. Did I just... Fiery cotton candy shit sticks, I did. The question of whether or not fending off an alien invasion was Space Force's duty is no longer up for debate. Quaid has just volunteered us for the job. All 7 of us. Only 4 which are actually inside the base's perimeter. The bridge jolts downward again as well as it was designed, and it can't hold itself up indefinitely while severed in two. A timer appears on our phones, counting down from 30 minutes. Haley, Stone says, into the force field. He holds up his phone, manages to minimize the alien counter, and dials a number. I flinch when my phone rings. When I answer it, he says my name again. This time, his voice comes through clear. Jen? He sounds nervous and sad. I'm sorry, Fort Stone, I say. Aliens have invaded. It could still be the Chinese, he says. It's the name. Zingquix. His pronunciation of XXXINQUIXXX is about what I imagined too. All the Chinese hackers use names like that. It can't be a coincidence. How could the Chinese do all this? I ask. Just get to the launch pad and work that angle, okay? Cell signals can get through, so call me when you find something. When I detect trace amounts of regret still lingering in his eyes, I take the burden from his shoulders by saying, I forgive you. The bridge lurches downward. Something somewhere snaps, sending a vibration through the door. When Stone's side of the bus starts rolling into the force field, he scrambles away, shouting, Out to the back! Go, go, go! While Taylor leads Billy and the mystery woman out the back door, Stone lingers. You can finish your live stream speech when I see you again, I tell him, in private. He smiles. It's the last thing I see before nearly falling from the bus's open end. Quaid is thrown the front half of the bus, which must be the front or four-wheel drive, into gear and hit the gas. A trail of sparks chases us across the bridge, which is now wobbling side to side. Go, Stone, I whisper. Move your ass. Okay. So I think that's enough for now. I just read 2 chapters. Oh, and I'm covering this up. I just read 2 chapters. Okay. And if you haven't seen my previous video, which has nothing to do with this, but is me at work talking about issues, contemporary issues, then go ahead and watch that. I don't know how to provide a link in the description, but if I can figure that out, I'll do that. Have a good night. Bye-bye.